Welcome back, everybody. So as promised in my first video, we are going to go over some award-winning steak techniques that I learned from a Louisiana pitmaster in a class. We'll put the link probably up here, barbecuechamps.com. Go visit them. Unbelievable kind of online cooking school. But we're going to show you guys how I do steak and why I can eat it every day. All right, so first things, I like to wear blue gloves. These are just from Sam's Club, but it keeps your hands clean and really easy to just put these on quick. Use these for everything, especially like raw chicken, raw fish, stuff like that. Today I have a lovely porterhouse at my local Pick and Save up here in Wales. They've been rotating steaks on sale, and this bad boy was $9.99 a pound, which is relatively cheap for a beautiful porterhouse. As you can see, it has great marbling, nice big tenderloin piece along with the strip, and we're going to show you kind of how we prep this thing. So as part of it, we are going to let this thing sit for about 3 hours. This one maybe a little bit longer because it's so thick, and get up to room temperature. That is one of the keys, and we'll show you kind of why we do that. So first thing we do, we put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce on it, and I mean just a little bit, just to coat it. You don't want it swimming in this. You just want, wait, there's a big steak. Okay, just a little bit on the one side. I like Liam Perrins. And then we are going to take some kosher salt and just simply sprinkle some kosher salt on here to about like that. I like to just pat it into the meat. Okay. I'm then going to flip it over and do exactly the same thing. And what this is going to do is, as this warms up, the meat's going to sweat, and then the meat is going to absorb the Worcestershire and the salt and act as a tenderizer. And step number one, boy, that looks good. All right, step number one is done. We let this sit for about 3 hours. We'll be back. All right, so here we are 1 hour in to warming up. You can kind of see here how the salt has kind of disintegrated or melted into the meat a little bit. The meat is sweating, and we're going to give it a little bit more time, but just wanted to show you here what this looks like an hour in. All right, so here we are back at 2 hours, and you can see that some of that liquid that was on the top an hour ago is starting to soak in, and it's starting to dry out, which is exactly what you want. We got another hour to go, but you can see how things have changed here in just 2 hours with this steak. We'll be back in an hour. All right, so we are just under 3 hours here, and we're going to do, so we're sitting at 65 degrees. 65, pretty even here, which, given how late it's getting, is going to be good enough. Normally I'd let it go another half hour or so, but it's going to get dark and we'll be having a hard time videotaping. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to pat it dry with a paper towel. All right, so I thought I would show everybody here the different steak seasonings that I use. I do rotate these depending on the mood. They're all really good, but all a little bit different. So my favorite one is a combination of all queued up, which is a salt, pepper, garlic, and you're going to see that here in a little bit, and then steak dust is just fantastic. Then there's also Texas dust and grilling dust, which are a little bit different than the steak dust. These two are also really good on hamburgers and or chicken. But these go in combination with the all queued up, and I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. And then I found this one at Sam's, a creamy steakhouse with horseradish and garlic. Very, very good. Probably my favorite is this truffle, Parmesan, and black garlic. That is a Costco find and is just absolutely delicious on steak. St. Elmo Steakhouse seasoning. As you can see, mine's almost gone. This is also very, very good. I do like that a lot. The blend from Kinder is just salt, pepper, garlic. My youngest daughter Naomi really likes this one. Also very good on chicken. And then one I found up here at Farm and Fleet is Burt Finger Barbecue Steakhouse. This is also really, really good. So that's kind of gives you an idea what I do. I always do this step first, which is warming it up, and then it's just a matter of what flavor I'm in the mood for. Try them all. They're all fantastic. All right, so now we're going to just pat this thing dry. There's not a lot to it, but we want to make sure it's dry. We put it on the grill so it gets a nice sear to it. You can see there's just not a lot of liquid. It's all been absorbed up into that steak. We're just going to pat it dry. This is an important step right here. And then we are going to do a two-step season. First is with the all queued up, which is an underlayer. Again, just salt, pepper, garlic. And this you're going to go really light. We're not going heavy at all on this. Pat it in, and then we are going to flip it over and do the same thing here. You can see I'm not going very heavy. And then we are going to do our Xtreme steak dust. This I am going to do heavy. We want to let this sit for 15 minutes or so while we warm up the grill. Now I know a lot of carnivores are just salt, but again I'm doing kind of a carnivore with a Dr. Westman 20 carbs a day kick, and I like my seasoning, and that's what works for me. You do whatever works for you, but I like my steak seasoning. And I have used this from the beginning, or some type of seasoning every day. It has not affected my arthritis or my weight. I also like to get the edges real good. Get a little bark on there. All right. So my grill of preference is a Next grill. Got this at Home Depot like 6 years ago probably. This is the Evolution Infrared Plus 5 burner. I can really get this thing nice and hot. Thing I love about it, it is all stainless steel, including the grates, so I have no issues with any rust or deterioration. Side burner if I want to do some type of sauce or something else there. But this is my grill and I love it. Alright, so one of the things I like to do is put some wood chips in here. I like bourbon barrel chips. I get these at Menards. up here in Wisconsin. These are old bourbon barrel chips that get ground up, or chipped up I should say. These put off a really great smoke, and I like to do that every time I grill steaks. See, a squirrel's going to be barking at us here. Here we go. I do everything on high, a whole cook. Alright, we're going to give that about 5-10 minutes to warm up real good, and then we'll come back. Alright, we got some smoke rolling, and it is going to be about time to get this on there. Now, one thing I like to do, olive oil spray, just helps it not stick. Got to be careful, but usually don't have an issue. You can see the smoke rolling here. And I'm going to start my stopwatch because we're doing about 2.5 minutes, and you'll see why. Alright. Start the stopwatch. At 2.5 minutes, we're going to turn it about 90 degrees and get some crisscross on there. For presentation, you don't have to do that. And at about 5 minutes, we're going to flip it. And then do the same thing on the other side. And we'll see if we can't get lucky here on video. Usually all summer I've had a mama and 2 baby deer come out of the woods up here and down into the food plot that we have right here in our backyard. Very lucky, we're only on an acre here in Wisconsin, but very wooded, and have about 40 turkeys here every night and have multiple deer that come in the yard. So we put a food plot in. I'm going to try to keep them off the flowers, stuff like that. Again, I'm cooking on high. I want to get this a good sear. Right now I'm rolling at 550. You can see I got some good smoke rolling. I'm at 1:24. I'm going to give it 1 more minute, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm looking for a medium rare to medium steak. If you want it more well done, you got to cook it a little longer. If you want a little more rare, maybe 8 minutes total. This is a pretty thick steak, but I'm going to go ahead now and just turn it like so. We're going to let it go another 2.5 minutes. And I'm just checking just to make sure I don't have a big fire going with these porterhouse or ribeyes. They're pretty fatty, so sometimes you get a decent fire, which I would then move it just so it doesn't burn. But so far so good. Sitting at 4:15, got 45 seconds, and I'm going to flip it. I'm at 5 minutes. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing. Go another 2.5 minutes, rotate it, and then another 2.5 minutes, and then we're done. Now we're going to wrap it in aluminum foil, and it's going to rest for 10 minutes. Probably the most important part is wrapping it and letting it rest. Another minute to go, and then I'm going to rotate it. So usually these steaks take 8 to 10 minutes. And it doesn't matter if it's a strip or a ribeye or bone-in ribeye, or in this case a porterhouse. They're all about the same. Steak's a little thinner, I go closer to 8 minutes. A little thicker than what this one is, I'll go maybe 12. just depending on how thick that steak is. But 8 to 10 is kind of the magic number for medium to medium rare. You guys can see it's looking really good here. At 9:45, I'm going to go 15 more seconds, take it off. I'm going to take a quick temperature reading just to make sure I'm good. Oh, perfect. I'm at 121, 130 on the tenderloin side. I am good to go. Now I'm going to wrap it. Like so. And now it sits for 10 minutes. And that's where the magic happens. All right, so it's been 10 minutes here. Now we're going to unwrap our beautiful steak. Show you guys what this is all about. Porterhouse are a little bit trickier to get out because they're so big. You can see all that lovely magic right there, as I call it. All right, and then here's the best part. So now you're going to take all this juice that's in the aluminum foil, and that is your steak sauce. As they said in the video we watched, steak sauce is for bad steak. Oh yeah. That is heaven right there. Alright, get rid of that. Now with a porterhouse, I always like to start with a tenderloin. Just because it's so darn good. Cut this in half so you guys can see. Look at how beautiful that looks. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. That is what we're talking about. Here's just a little bit of kick to it. Xtreme steak dust. The best. Hopefully this helped. This is what I do every day. Been doing this since the middle of April. I go through the time to wrap the steaks. I cook them this way every time. They are always perfect. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Hit the subscribe button. There's going to be some more cooking videos coming down the road, along with some other updates, with some blood work and some other things. But in the meantime, go cook yourself a steak, wrap it, because it's heaven.